What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse episode 071 for Saturday, May 29th, 2021. The airs of E3 are upon us. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined by my dude, Rick. What up? Rick the Dick,
Yo,
what
what
up?
is up? Rick the Dick. I've never heard that before. I'm 29
Yes, you
years old.
have.
Never heard anyone say that.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, I have. But no, I'm here. I'm excited, man. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of pre-release news, new tech news, new device news to talk about. I'm excited to get into it. But first, man, tell the people what you've been playing. People who haven't caught the stream, tell them what you've been playing.
All right. Yeah, if you haven't caught the stream, if you're not catching this stream, by the way, we do this live on Twitch and YouTube every Saturday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, which is like, what time is that in East? Like 4 something. There's a video component to this. That's why I'm saying that, because a lot of people might be listening to this on like Spotify or something. You don't get the video. There is a video component to this. So go to gameoverse.com/Twitch, gameoverse.com/YouTube, or just gameoverse.com. Right in the main page there, you'll see this live. So, yeah, just a little FYE. Joker says 4 p.m. All right, Joker's in the chat, just like you could be if you were here live with us. But let me tell you what I've been playing, dude, because I've been playing this little game called Biomutant.
Oh, that's I've never heard of that game. It's like a small little indie game. Came out under the radar.
Yeah, it's a little small little indie game. I mean, it kind of is, to be honest, but it's been
All
making...
jokes aside, as a team of like what 30 people, 20 people, like which
yeah,
sounds like a lot, but compared to like AAA development, it's not.
yeah. And look, I'll just come right out the gate and say, look, this game is not good, okay?
Oh no! Oh, don't say that.
It's not a good game, but I like it. And yes, I like bad games sometimes. A lot of the time I like bad games. You know, Sonic Adventure is one of my favorite games of all time, and that's a terrible game. Biomutant is not a good game, but I like it.
Right.
And here's the premise of the game is that it's a post-apocalyptic scenario where there's a story here in this game, but they don't really, it's not front and center like you would hope it would be. Basically, there was like this corporation called Toxinol, who in our times, in the old times, was basically like the Looney Tunes equivalent of like Acme Corporation, where they were just out there just doing everything. Like they just owned the world and just was doing everything. So I guess at some point they had like a tanker, like an oil tanker that just like blew up or something and just spread all this oil around and made the whole world like toxic, and then killed themselves and then killed the entire world. And then thousands of years later, what survived were like the animals and like the rodents and shit like that. So they've came up and risen up and retooled all of the human equipment that's left over after the apocalypse. So now there's just a bunch of like rodents with guns and weapons, and they've developed their own form of kung fu. And the particular rodents that developed this kung fu was your mother, and she had these disciples, and she had 6 disciples who she trained in this form of kung fu, and they've all kind of branched off after she died to formulate their own branch of this kung fu. This story is very convoluted. It's actually not that convoluted, but they don't like, it's not front and center. You really kind of got to dig for this story. And usually I'm not the story guy. I don't usually pay attention to the story, but I don't know. It's so like drip fed that I picked up the pieces that they were kind of giving to you. The story's not the thing you want out of this anyway. It's the gameplay here It's like reminiscent of like a Borderlands mixed with like a Breath of the Wild kind of adventure world. And uh yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of things that they're trying to do with this game, but I like there's like a light dark thing going on, kind of like Infamous or like a Fable. um there's like a there's like a martial arts like melee combat thing, like a Jade Empire almost. But then there's like a whole like guns and weapons crafting system, kind of like Borderlands. If you imagine Borderlands, but you're taking all the components of the weapons and putting them together and mix matching them. Like I want to take this scope of this Theodore weapon and I want to put it on this Atlas stock, and then I want the trigger from this weapon, and I want the muzzle from this weapon, and you're kind of just taking it all and mashing it all together and seeing what you make. Uh, they have a lot of ideas for this game, and I don't think most of it doesn't. There's no cohesion with most of it, so you get this thing that's kind of just it's a mess almost. There's mounts, like you can mount like creatures, and you can get a mech, and I got a boat eventually. um yeah, there's a lot that this game is trying to do. It's almost as if they said, hey, Tim, you got an idea? And it was like Tim was like, yeah, what if we had like a light versus dark mechanic? And they were like, okay, fuck it, do it. And then they did it, but they kind of didn't do it. uh there's like a magic system too, like where that light and dark mechanic, like if you're dark you get dark magic you can use, and if you're light you get light magic. And but they don't call it magic. It's confusing the way I'm describing it, but it's even more confusing in the game because the UI is bad. um the UI, it's like the UI doesn't the UI almost looks like they took it out of like Fortnite almost. um it doesn't match at all what the rest of the game is doing. In fact, there's like when you're in combat there's like a comic, like you'll get like, you know how in comic books whenever someone does an attack and it's like wham kablam pow, like you get that sometimes in this game, but there's nowhere else where it does that. It's fucking crazy. um yeah, it's just like a fucking mix of just all kinds of shit that none of it like meshes together. It's like they didn't really have a solid focus on what they wanted to do, so they kind of just did everything and just threw it in. And that's not even, I haven't gotten to the parts where it's like there's like a Far Cry factions like outposts mechanic. So like right at the beginning of the game you can choose one of two factions, and like one's obviously the bad one, one's obviously the good one. I chose the bad one because I'm like, they're really steering you towards doing the good thing here, so I'm gonna do what they don't want me to do. And so there's like Far Cry style outposts where you just run in there and like take them over. And then oh my god, so there's like a there's a like a dialogue mechanic where you can convince the faction leader to or the outpost leader, you can convince them to just not fight. And it's like, why like that's another thing that doesn't need to exist, because that's the only time where you use that mechanic. Like you can, when you level up you can put your like stats into like several different areas, and like one of them is like dedicated to convincing people. But the only time you use that is when you like, I played for maybe like 10 hours now, and I've only had the option to do it once to convince someone to like not fight me. um it's like stuff like that where it's just like you don't like none of it just meshes well. There's no cohesion with the stuff. And then all the outposts have the exact same layout, even down to the placement of the loot. Like all the loot is in the same exact place, they all have the same exact layout. it's just it's a game that seems like they had so many ideas and then tried to do it all, but didn't even like finish the game. They didn't finish the game though. A lot of the animations just seem unfinished. Sometimes you'll start and stop dialogue with someone, and it'll just like there's no transition between dialogue scenes. It'll just like start and it'll just stop abruptly, and you're like, what the fuck? Um, yeah, there's a lot to this game that I want to like talk about. Maybe we're gonna have to do like we're gonna have to do a video on this at some point because there's just a lot to this game that they're trying to do a lot and like most of it just doesn't work. You can tell the one thing that they spent the most time on is that crafting system. That seems like the most fleshed out thing and the best thing to kind of just mess around and play with. Because you don't really find weapons per se. You find the components to weapons, and then they just want you to put it all together. And that's kind of the coolest thing that I've seen at this game. Again, this game's a mess, but like I like it. There's kind of just like I don't know. I kind of just zone out and don't really pay attention to anything. Uh, because like it's not that good of a game, but it's a kind of game you can get lost in. You can kind of just zone everything out and just play it and just kind of just enjoy it for what it is. And yeah, that's Biomutant. I think they did put out Rick, you put a thing in the Discord that the devs were working on a huge patch or they're trying to
Yeah,
fix.
yeah, I put it in the off-topic chat that it's a screenshot of a Facebook post they did. But they're currently working on an update they want to get to people as soon as possible. It's coming to PC first and then consoles after, but it's supposed to address things like bug fixes. Um, and there's a bunch of other community feedback changes they're doing. So things like pacing, dialogue, and narrator settings, difficulty settings, depth of field, motion blur control, changes to the loot and enemy tuning. Like they're talking about like a lot of changes they're gonna make. So hopefully,
It's I from what they've said there, it's not going to be enough. Like this is the kind of thing you got to work on for like another year and really hone down like just really just dig into what this game does good and the other stuff they just need to get the fuck rid of, dude, because there's just so much tat. There's just so much piled onto this game that just doesn't need to be there. Um like the whole beginning of the game, like the whole first like 4 hours is just a slog of it's super slow. It's super slow to start, man. It's like very not fun in the beginning.
yeah.
Very not fun. I was contemplating like, should I keep playing this? Maybe I should get my refund. Um, but if you do stick around past like I don't know, like the 5 hour mark, um, once you actually start finding loot and stuff and start engaging with that crafting system, which is the best thing about the game is the crafting. Um, it's really fun after that. But yeah, the rest of it is just like not. The rest of it is not very fun.
That's a bummer because this is a game I've been excited for a while, and I was really hoping that it would be a bit more fleshed out and unified, but it looks like it is, and there's a lot of like it's a lot of junk in the trunk they got to clear up, so to speak, and it's really frustrating to hear shit like that.
Yeah. The whole thing like the dialogue systems done through so all the NPCs in the game talk in their own like language.
Yeah,
So but they don't translate that. There's a narrator that talks through like there's like this like British narrator who talks way too much. Talks way too much. Now he's okay. He's good at what he does. Like he's not a bad narrator at all, but I think he's just a little like verbose. Like he talks way like anytime you like every time the sun goes down or it starts raining, he's like getting a little wet, aren't we? Like it's like that kind of dialogue where he'll just say stuff when you don't want him to say shit. But I guess in the patch you'll be able to adjust that. So if they can just turn him off a little, that would be very nice. Because like the sun will come up and he's like, it's always darkest before the dawn and some shit like that. Like it'll just say that, like, it'll say stuff like that just over and over, and it's just a little much for me. Um, but yeah, there's just a bunch of just weird ideas for this game where I think none of it was needed. Um, they just should have just doubled down on the gunplay and the loot aspect and the crafting, and like that would have been fine. Um, these puzzles, these puzzles in the game are so bad. They're so bad. There's like these puzzles where you get like you just have to like spin things around and like match up the colors, but they're like the most basic fucking puzzles you've ever seen in your life. And they give you like a limited number of moves based on your intelligence stat, but like you never need as many moves as they give you. The only time you would need those many moves is sometimes they change the look of the puzzle. So it'll look like they'll give it like an insane, like sometimes it'll be like a circular thing. You're like, what the fuck do they want me to do here? So like sometimes you'll fuck it up because like it looks weird. You're like, but you can just like retry it as many times as you want if you fail it. And it's just, they're just bad puzzles. They're bad puzzles and they're all the same.
That is
Uh,
so frustrating. God damn. Hopefully we can get some patches that iron out some of the issues of the game, but I don't know, man. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it needs more than just a couple of patches, I think. It needs a complete same thing with like Cyberpunk, where it's like, yeah, you can patch this all you want, but I think the changes you need to make are like more fundamental than that, man. I think you need to really go back to the drawing board a little bit and kind of reconceptualize what you thought you were doing, and uh, because there's this game has so many systems that I don't think you
Yeah.
need. They don't need them all, any of them really. Uh, but Yeah, but I like it. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm really just gonna beeline it through the main story because there's a bunch of side missions and those are all the same. It's all, hey, go. In the old world they had these things called mind tubes, and they would beam information directly into your mind. They're talking about like televisions. They have like silly names for everything because it's like post-apocalypse, but they're coming back, and all this old world technology that they don't know what it was used for, so they're trying to like come up with new names for everything, and it's all silly, like, oh, the diddly diddler, or shit like that. And it's like, oh, that's what you call your toilets, or whatever. And it's all the side missions are all find 12 toilets in the world, or find 16 televisions, or it's all that, or hey, this guy, it wants you to find an NPC or find like an old world technology, or like burn down this village, or like an iteration of one of those three things. All the side missions are like that. So I just don't want to engage in any of it because it's all the same.
Such a
Um,
bummer. Oh
yeah,
well. I was excited. I'm glad I didn't pick it up. I'm glad I got the Mass Effect instead.
yeah, uh, yeah. It's impressive what they've made here, but I think the game that's here is a little more than what they were overreaching their abilities here. Um, they seem like very talented developers, but they just had way too many ideas and they tried to do everything. Whereas like a normal studio would have been, no, we can't do that. That would take way too much time, or we can't do that. We can't. There's no way we can integrate all this into the core gameplay. But they just did fucking everything they thought of. They just did it, and not very well. So,
Such a
um,
bummer.
yeah,
Um
that's Biomutant.
You can check out the stream if you want to see his complaints firsthand. You archived all the videos of you playing on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's all on YouTube. I think I got like three, like about 4 hour sessions of it. The second one, I did not have audio going, and then no one told me. So the second one has no audio. Uh, which my dude Novus like popped into the YouTube comments like and left the same comment like 12 times, like Nani, no audio. So shouts out to Novus for letting me know there was no audio after the fact. But yeah,
I started playing something surprising, believe it or
yeah,
not. Yeah, so surprisingly, I am not obsessed with Mass Effect right now.
okay.
We talked about it last week. It was in our list of releases. Solasta, Crown of the Magister.
Oh,
Yes, that dropped on the 27th on Game Pass for PC. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I'm gonna put it in the trailer in the stream chat right now. I was like, I'll give it a shot. It's basically Solasta is basically it's a tactical RPG that borrows mechanics from Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. They basically compiled the rule set for 5e and tweaked it to work in a video game setting. They are their own thing. It doesn't take place in the D&D universe. It's its own thing, its own story, its own country and world. They even have some of their own classes that are exclusive to that game that aren't in the player's handbook. And this game is the fucking bomb, dude.
yeah,
It is so good. Yes. Yes. It translates that tabletop RPG feeling so seamlessly. And the game doesn't have a preset players. It's a team of 4 people, and you can select the created characters. You can make your own characters, and you can choose everything from the way they look, their race, their class, their starting equipment, even their voice and their background, the languages they speak. You can choose all of that, and it's really cool. I feel like I'm creating an actual character using a pen and paper from the 5e handbook, and the characters, depending on the one thing that's really cool. I haven't had a chance to test it really by starting it over and seeing if the dialogue was different. But one thing you can do that's really cool is depending on the background, class, and race, you can choose between different character personality types, and that affects how they act in the game. And the game's fully voice acted, by the way, which is amazing. I don't know how they managed to work out all these different dialogue options that are possible. But like I made a character who was like a fighter, and he was a sellsword, like a bounty, like a mercenary. And there's all these different things you can pick for his background. Like, is he altruistic? Is he kind? Is he cynical? And then depending on that, he speaks like in slang. He has very casual speak. And I chose, oh, he's very cynical. I want someone who's really cynical and very chaotic, doesn't really believe in like rules. And because of that, he's kind of vulgar, he jokes around a lot, and he kind of annoys the rest of the party. And I'm like, holy shit. And same thing, I made a wizard who came from a formal wizarding school. So she speaks very formally, she doesn't have any slang. And you can hear that in the way she talks too. And I'm like, that's really fucking cool. I haven't had a chance to test it, so I want to start over with a totally different group of characters and see like how different it really is. But it's really neat the way it plays out. And the combat itself, I feel like I'm playing 5th edition. Like it's such a perfect transition to a video game. It's really cool to see. You even see the dice rolls physically roll on screen, and there's like a log that shows you what dice rolls you got. So if you want to see like, oh, why did I miss that? Oh, because I rolled a 2 and I had a +6. So that made an 8 against the enemy's AC of 10. That's why my hit didn't hit. It's really cool, man. Like it's so much fun. I thought I was gonna download it, make some characters play for an hour, and then turn it off. I played till like 2 in the morning last night, dude.
Shit.
Yeah, dude, this game, it's on Game Pass, so go check it out, man. It's so much fun.
How does this compare to something like, because when I see this, okay, so I'm not this is not my type of game, right? We all know
Yeah.
that when I see this kind of shit, I'm like I tune out. But how does this compare to something like Divinity? Because when I see this, I see Divinity.
So I've never played Divinity, so I can't speak towards Divinity. But what I like about this is that it feels like D&D. Like you have the same turnstile, the same rules are still there for casting spells, and yeah, a lot of the terms are still the same. A lot of the spells carry over, abilities and classes carry over. It reminds me a lot of XCOM and the way it plays out, because a lot of things like positioning are really important, spells you cast are important. Um, Traveling from mission to mission, you can get jumped while you're traveling, and you have to have food on you to spend the night and get the benefits of resting for the night. It's really, really cool. I legit feel like I'm playing like a perfect conversion of fifth edition. And
Okay. So the
what's
appeal here is that it's a direct like rule set interpretation of like
almost
Dungeons and
direct.
Dragons. Okay.
Almost direct. There's a couple things that they change to make it more gamified. Like, how can I explain it to someone who, like, a lot of the classes are different. So, like, one character I play in my current campaign that I'm playing is a fighter, and every class has a archetype or a subclass that you can pick. Sometimes at the start, sometimes when you hit level 3. With the fighter, one of the archetypes I'm playing is an Eldritch Knight. It's like a fighter who can cast magic in combat. And the closest thing to that in this game is a spell blade. So a lot of the spells aren't the same. I don't have access to the same spells I did in my fifth edition game, but there are also some new spells I have access to that I didn't have before. And even though it's not a one-to-one conversion of that class and how I'm playing it, it's very, very it's close enough to it that I feel like I'm playing D&D. Even the character interaction is really cool because the characters like talk to each other. You can choose which character responds to which setting. And so far, with how I built the characters out, compared to their backstories, they haven't said anything that I thought, oh, but the character wouldn't respond that way. Like it's been pretty on brand for how I chose that character's backstory so far. And there are even some things that some scenarios that play out differently depending on your character. So like I got to this point where I made it to this outpost, and we got there, everyone was dead. They were all slaughtered and the place was burning down. And there's some people stuck behind a door and they didn't want to let us in. Um, at first, I had the cleric character that I had there try to do a, charisma check to talk them into letting us in. He failed the roll, so he didn't let us in. But then my fighter character, since his backstory is a sellsword, like a mercenary, he mentioned something. He's like, "Oh, this is a lot like the I know what you're going through. This is like the battle I faced over in, I don't know, Skillian." And some guy was like, "Oh, you were in Skillian? I was in Skillian. Who's your commander?" And then after talking to him, he let us in. And I'm like, "Fuck! What if I'd never like picked that backstory? Like, what would have happened? Like, how would I have gotten in there? Like, it's really, really cool. Um, it's so much fun. And like, even now, like talking about it, I'm like, fuck, I want to go back and play it. Um, it's not
There's
easy. I'll be honest with you. It's not easy. I'm playing. Granted, I'm playing on the tabletop difficulty, which is supposed to like recreate that experience. So maybe that's why it's not easy for me. But there's a lot of stuff in there that I just knew firsthand, like how it worked in fifth edition. It's going to work in here. And after playing through, I was like, "Well, how is someone who's never played D&D like going to understand this?" So that's one thing I'll admit that like they think the game can do better is explain how some of this stuff works. The crafting is really cool, but it doesn't really explain how that works, and it's very different from how it works in D&D. Um, it's a budget game. I'm gonna throw that out there. It is not a $60 AAA release. I looked it up. This game was funded on Kickstarter. and it is a $40 game. You can buy it for $40 right now. It's on sale for like 30. So don't expect like Baldur's Gate 3 when you go in to play this.
There's does it have multiplayer?
No, which is
Okay.
a huge bummer. I wish it did. Actually, I don't know. I didn't look it up. Give me a minute. I only
So
played it for a couple hours
I
yesterday.
know Divinity does, and that's like a really cool thing. Like if you're playing a D&D game, I don't know. I feel like there should be interaction with like other players too, and like them doing things, and you being like, also Clay's in the house. What's up, Clay? We
What up,
got
Clay?
Umut Demir on YouTube. What's up, guys? We do this live on Twitch.tv/Gameoverse, YouTube.com, or Gameoverse.com/YouTube. I should give that one. There's a dungeon maker I'm looking at, and
Yes,
this
I'm glad you brought that up. The Dungeon Maker's still in beta, but there is an
okay.
option to make your own dungeon, fill it with enemies, have your players run through it. Dude, it's so good. It's so much fun. I was impressed with how well it did it. Like I said, I thought I was gonna come in, build some characters, and then call it a day. But no, it's surprisingly like there's a lot of depth to it. The character creator has a lot of depth to it too. Um, I really like the way the game plays out. The only thing is that I assume it'd be possible to totally fucking dick yourself because so far the game has you select 4 characters, and it looks like those are the 4 characters you're gonna have in your party for the rest of the game. And you create them from the beginning, or you can choose between the pre-selected characters that the game made. So I assume, let's say you fuck up and you have like 4 characters that all do the same thing, you're gonna have a harder time playing through the game than someone who like gave everyone a specific role and didn't know how to build a team properly. Um, I'm facing that right now because I gave 2 of my characters the same background, and because that they have a lot of the same proficiencies. So I'm like, why do I have 2 guys who can do the same thing on my team when I only
Oh
have
yeah,
4 people? You know what I mean? Um, Even though they're different classes, one's a cleric, one's a fighter, because they have the same background, their proficiencies and a lot of the same aspects are similar. So I play just from seeing that. I'm like, I assume if someone didn't know anything going in and they're like, I'm not going to use the percentage, I'm going to make all new characters. I assume it'd be totally possible to just fucking dick yourself and realize you made a horrible mistake too late into the game. But the game has an adjustable difficulty. There's a very casual story difficulty. I haven't tried it yet. I'm playing the tabletop one, and that one, it's enough challenge. I feel like every fight I really need to think out how I'm going to play it out, how I'm going to get through it. I don't feel like the game's just giving me wins. Like I feel like I'm really working, thinking ahead of what I'm going to do next. It's really really fun, dude. It's on Game Pass, so I recommend like try it, man. Just give it a shot. Anyone who's listening, just go try it. If you want, I'll fucking hop in stream with you and like walk you through the character creator, so you kind of have an idea of like what you're looking at to kind of help better understand the game. Because the game doesn't do a great job, I think, at least me personally, explaining how a lot of the mechanics work. You kind of learn as you're going along,
yeah.
and that foresight I think can cause some issues, but it's a lot of fun, and they're promising to have another class come out later. I can't remember what class it was. They're gonna have come out. They're gonna have a new class and a new race to play as later, for free. And right now this is their first campaign, the Crown of Magister campaign, and they're gonna have more campaigns come out later. I don't know what the monetization is gonna look like on that, but I'm excited. I'm really really excited to see what happens next with this game. Um,
The footage we're watching is from Fextra Life, who do like their YouTube channel. It does like really good reviews on like RPGs and MMO and stuff like that. So I'm gonna put the link here, just so people know this
yeah,
is
it's
not our
funny you bring that
footage.
up. That's the review I saw that made me go download the game.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I was just like hanging out on my lunch break yesterday, and I was like, hey, what was that game we talked about on the podcast? And I was like, Solasta, Solara. And I saw this review from Extra Life, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, they know what they're doing. Let's see what they have to say about it. And after hearing them talk about it, I was like, oh, shit, this sounds pretty cool. On
Yeah,
my lunch break, I went on my computer, downloaded it on Game Pass, and played it after work, and it's fucking great. the game still feels like it's in beta, which is weird because it's a full release. There are some weird visual glitches I noticed that kind of threw me off. The game has a mechanic where you can switch weapons on the fly if you pre-select. So you have your primary weapon and secondary. You can swap between them. My character secondary is like a crossbow, and I notice if I switch from my crossbow to my sword and shield, and I highlight the sword and shield icon, it'll still tell me I have a crossbow selected, even though I don't. Um, if you try to dump points, if you make a character who has any sort of proficiency in performance, the game and you go to select it as a proficiency you can select, the game will flat out tell you, hey, this campaign doesn't use anything for performance. So choose at your own risk. Um, Little things like that make me think that this game might still be in beta, even though it's supposed to be a full release, it still feels like it's in early access. Especially since like the dungeon maker flat out says beta on it when you go to select it. But it's a lot of fun so far. I like what I'm playing. Graphically, the environment looks great. The character models aren't the best, but everything else is fine, dude. It's a lot of fun. I recommend anyone if you like RPGs, if you have Game Pass, go check it out. If you like D&D, go check it out. It's a great conversion of that. It's a lot of fun. If you want to play D&D and you don't have friends, this is a great alternative. At least I think so.
All right. That's Solasta. What's it called? Crown of the
The
Magister.
Magister. Yep.
That's on Game Pass right now.
Yep. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I never played D&D, but I like know. I think I like bad D&D more than like real D&D. What I mean by bad D&D is I listen to Dan Harmon, if you know who that is. He's the writer
Yeah.
for Rick and Morty. He used to have a podcast, and they would play D&D like at the end of their show, but they wouldn't play like real D&D. They would play like improv in the form of D&D. But they had a real dungeon master, so like the dungeon master would do real dungeon mastering, while Dan Harmon, whoever he brought on, would do like improv in his world of dungeon mastering, and it was the best D&D that I've ever fucking
I've
like
heard about
experienced,
that. He has
man.
the whole show on that too, right? Called Harmon Quest. There's like a whole
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, I
um
heard about that. It looks cool. It looks really cool. I
uh
want to check it out.
and I like that because it's like it's more like open. It's not, they're not restricted to like D&D rules. Not so much. I mean, every once in a while the dungeon master would come in, like, you don't have enough magic to do that or shit like that. He'll come in and like keep it on, keep it on the tracks, but I like when it's like unrestricted kind of. So like I don't know if I would like actual D&D, but
When
uh
you're DM, man, like I've played some great D&D games. I played some shit D&D games, and running a D&D game is still a lot of fun too. And my players tell me they have fun when I do it. So maybe I'm doing something right. But it all depends on who you're playing with. Really, that makes the game up.
yeah.
In a game where everything's made up on the spot, like the people you're playing with have a huge impact on it.
Yeah. I just liked because it was more of like a faster pace when they did it. They never like
Yeah.
stopped to like what's my inventory, or cuz they were bad at playing, so they never like would do the things they're supposed to do. It's like looting or like looking at inventory or checking their
Yeah.
like stats or whatever. They would just keep doing things. They would just keep moving forward. And I like that. But anyway, has nothing to do with this. um Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. I checked out like Divinity a little bit, and it was just never. I never got into it. But that at least has multiplayer. So like, if I couldn't do it on my own, I could always have like someone else to kind of do it with me and make it fun. This without multiplayer is, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't think I would get into this.
Just give it a shot. I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. But to each their own. I
But
think everyone should at least like look into it.
yeah,
We got
you
some
could.
news here, people. Oh, sorry.
I was saying maybe we could like, if you want to do like a quick look on that, we could do that. We could
I'm
do that
down.
too.
I'm down. Fuck it. I don't think I'm doing anything tonight. I can't be up late, but we can probably do like a short, quick look after the podcast. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, we got some news here, people. We got Valve is making a Switch-like portable gaming PC. So has this actually been confirmed? Because I know there's like rumors, but has Valve actually come out and said anything?
So it's soft confirmed. So
Yeah.
what they found was they've dug into the guy that runs Steam DB, Pavel Jundik. Uh, there were some changes in the Steam like update that they noticed, kind of made hints at a thing called Neptune, and there was like a thing that said Neptune optimized games, and they don't really know what exactly it's in reference to. Uh, Here it is. I think this is it. Yeah, you can look at this is all just like code on like GitHub and shit, but basically they're like they've been like looking at some of like the code changes and the database changes and Steam, and they've noticed that there's this like new hardware thing called Neptune that makes reference to a Steam PAL thing. Yeah, like right here. Uh, Wait, not that. Steam PAL games list, Neptune games, Steam PAL games, Steam PAL. So they're thinking that this Steam PAL is like a handheld device that Valve is making,
Okay.
basically.
Um, Playing devil's advocate here, what makes them think it's a handheld device and it's not like an improved Steam Link or something like they used to have?
I think well, it's all speculation at this point. I think is what it is, but um, they're saying like I don't know, like a Steam Link, you wouldn't like necessarily optimize something for like streaming. Well, I guess you could, but you would optimize for like the hardware that you have available. Um, and there's I think some people have came out and confirmed some parts of this. So there are people who are coming out and saying, no, it's like an all-in-one device. It's got controls on it. It's gonna have that thumb thing that they were doing on the Steam controller. Which, by the way, a lot of people talk shit about the Steam controller. I actually own one of those things. Did a video on it way back when I got it, and like, it's not a terrible control. It's actually a really good controller.
Yeah, it's
But
not a bad controller.
the thing that people don't understand is that what I say this all the time is that there's a tool for every job, and that's a tool that's has a very specific job, which is basically like PC games that don't already have controller support, that you can map, which in their software you can just map all of that stuff and have macros as back triggers and stuff like that. So it was very good for like playing like Oblivion on, because it didn't really have controller support, or like Morrowind, like mapping
yeah,
all this stuff. But anyway,
I heard
that's
RTS could work pretty good with it too.
RTS games work really well with it. Um, it has sticks though. It has a left thumbstick. It's just the right stick was like, in my opinion, better than. And also has like gyroscope in it as well. You could do like gyroscope aiming. But anyway, they're gonna have like one of those on this proposed like handheld. Which, so here's my thing about this is that this is not a new idea. Like there have been devices for like the past like decade, that are totally handheld PCs. I know GPD's been running the game on this
Yeah,
for like a long time. GPD's been like, they just came out with a new device that runs like, they've been running like Intel and AMD processors, and they've just been using like the
yeah,
integrated graphics on those. There's another one like the Aya Neo, which I think is running the Ryzen chip. It's been doing like very well. I think they're all like still in like early like Kickstarter phase, but GPD has stuff out already that's been doing this. I know Alienware has been working on one, which there's also rumors that they're partnering with Alienware on this. Um, but I haven't seen anything about that. But yeah, there's been like a low roar for this type of thing for like quite some time. And I think if Valve does get in on this, they could have like a sort of first mover advantage because this is a thing that people are wanting now. This is a thing that's has like a low roar right now, and if they get in and do it well, they could blow the doors wide open on this kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to see this just
Yeah, me
from like
too.
the
Anytime there's
the
new tech, I'm excited to see it.
the only bit of like real FUD that comes with this, I think, is that the whole Steam machines thing people like to bring up. The Steam machines was the fucking terrible. It was a good idea, but piss poor execution because it wasn't something that Valve was making themselves. They teamed up with a bunch of third parties who each had their own idea of what the Steam machines were going to be. And they each had like a different price bracket and a different SKU, different hardware. So it was super fucking confusing. And like 9 out of 10 of them didn't even come out. So there's really only like
Yeah.
one of them. Like it
Yeah,
was
I don't
just a
think any
fucking
major
mess.
retailers like carried it too. Like,
Yeah. Well, Steam doesn't really need to do that. They could just sell everything. That's what they've always done, is just sell everything on Steam, even their hardware. Like they did do the Valve Index, which I think is doing pretty well. That's like become like the pinnacle of virtual reality. So like when they do a thing on their own, they can do it well. It's just they don't often do a thing on their own. So if they do this and have like the quality control in check, have everything in check, and it's just one thing that they have to design for, it could be pretty fucking cool, I think.
I agree. I agree. I love to see what we get with that. Hopefully these rumors are valid. It sounds like, there's still rumors, but the rumors with some merit. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see what happens next. While we're talking about like Switch replacements, Nintendo also had there's some more rumors of an upgraded Switch replacement coming probably as soon as like September. Allegedly, Nintendo has begun assembly of a new Switch, and as soon as July, and the release, they're planning to release an upgrade to the Switch now. Which, how old is the Switch now? Like 5 years old, 4 years old?
Came out in 2017, so
Teen shit.
yeah, it's like just over 5 years.
According to these industry rumors, it's set to be priced higher than the current 299 model, and it might be announced ahead of E3 starting June 12th. It will be sold alongside the 199 Switch Lite, with the standard Switch model being phased out over time. Um, any like news on the tech behind it? Is it going to get better hardware? Is it better screen? What are we looking at?
So um, the one, the one substantial, like the one rumor I think has any merit is that it's going to be just like it's going to be the same. They're still going with Nvidia. Like I think it's like the Tegra something or another chip they got in there. But so it's gonna still be 720p. I think it's gonna have. I've heard it's gonna have an OLED screen, but it's still gonna be 720, and it's gonna have like the kickstand is gonna be substantially better. I think the whole back of it is gonna like fly out, kind of like the Surface, Microsoft Surface tablet. Like the whole backside comes out, and you can kind of just angle it however you want, which is way better. That fucking Switch kickstand it sucks. It sucks. It's
It
bad.
sucks dick. My
It sucks
fucking
dick.
Switch, my
It comes
Switch
off.
kickstand like broke the first like week I got it, and
Yeah.
it's still like flimsy. Even though I've like put it back on, I've looked up everything, and it's everything I look up try to fix it. Just tells you, oh, that's just how the stand is. It's a piece of shit.
So the thing is, it's not going to be it's not going to be more powerful, but the thing is, it's going to have a slightly updated NVIDIA chip that's going to be capable of DLSS. So when it's docked, it's still going to be a 720p console, but when it's docked, it can deep learn super sample up to what I guess 4K or whatever they're going to be able to do. It's going to upsample into whatever resolution you need it to run at, which is smart. That's a smart thing to do. DLSS is like a game changer when it comes to performance and resolution. So that's the one thing that I think has any kind of merit when I hear about these rumors. So that's why it can kind of be like around the same price point, but still be, mostly the same like performance, I guess.
We'll have to wait and see then if once Nintendo announces something. Again, none of this is like confirmed until Nintendo announces something. Um, I wouldn't mind it, man. Like I love my Switch, I do. But even now, like the games I'm playing now, it feels a little outdated. Just graphically, performance wise. Even though there's not any major changes to performance, something like an OLED screen will make games look better. 4K resolution dock will definitely be better. That kickstand will be better. I might look into upgrading, but it all depends on what Nintendo announces in the future.
Yeah, and the thing is with the Switch, if it's like a significantly more premium device, it's gonna be much heavier. Like the thing is, like it doesn't have a glass screen. Like if they made the screen glass, just something as simple as that would make the thing significantly heavier.
Yeah,
And that already, like when you're holding this thing for like hours, it's the weight of it can be an issue.
yeah.
So like I don't know if I would want them to go super premium with it, uh, unless they can solve like the weight issue. But um, yeah, I don't know. I think just a simple like if they could just do DLSS and just have things like upsample, that would be significant enough for me. And then have like an OLED screen, uh, that would be good as well. So it doesn't need to be much. Something simple would be enough for me.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. We also got some news that PlayStation Plus games for June have been announced. You got Operation Tango. It's going to be a PS5 only release. And we have Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Those of you who don't know, we got an announcement. Virtua Fighter 5 was a thing that's happening. And apparently it's coming to PlayStation Plus for June. And it's going to be good until August 2nd, Monday, August 2nd. Um, and we also have Star Wars Squadrons coming out for PlayStation Plus as well. I want to cycle back to Virtua Fighter 5. If someone had told me that we're getting an announcement for Virtua Fighter 5 coming out this year, well, I probably would have believed them because this year's been fucking crazy. But it's such a weird game to just be releasing, you know? It's such a weird game to bring back. I mean, Virtua Fighter 4 came out like what, 2008, 2009, something like that.
I don't even know.
Hold on one second.
Well, no, Virtua Fighter 5, that's like been out on like PS3 already, right?
Not that
This is
I know
just
of.
okay. Maybe my Virtua Fighter knowledge is like limited, but
Hold on.
I
I'm
thought I
Googling
thought
it
this
right
was
now.
just like I thought this was just like a re-release of VF5.
Oh, it is. Shit, I didn't even know this existed. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
2006. Why re-release that? Why not make a new game? That's so weird. I'm more confused now.
Yeah, this
I
is
am like,
not.
that's why the game looks like ass. I thought it was just like an indie game. No, it's a fucking
Well,
PS3 game.
what's even more confusing is that the Dead or Alive series has been kind of absorbing the Virtua Fighter series into it. Like a lot of the Virtua Fighter characters are in Dead or Alive now,
Are
and they
they?
have like they have their entire move sets and everything. So that's why I thought they hadn't made one in a while is because they kind of just absorbed it into Dead or Alive. But I guess I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it. This is a very confusing thing to me. Just or not very confusing, but just like why
I
do it?
thought, yeah, I thought this was supposed to be like a new Virtua Fighter game because Virtua Fighter
Yeah,
4 was the last game I remember playing, and that came out in 2001 on the PS2. Um, and that's what I thought this was. I thought this was like, oh, Virtua Fighter 5, this is a new Virtua Fighter. And I thought they were trying to bring it back like they did with Samurai Showdown, for example. I was not expecting, oh, this is a remaster of a fucking PS3 game 2 generations ago. I was not expecting that, I'll be honest. And it's coming out on the PS4. Not PS5, PS4.
yeah.
So that's
So
another
you
thing
know,
that
like
confused me. Yeah.
backwards compatibility, PS4 exclusive too. Not even on anything else, just
Yeah.
PS4. But it'll be on PS Plus for 2 months, so June and July. So that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, everybody has a chance to like go check it out. Fuck it, I'll download it, man. I like playing fighting games. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot for sure. Fuck, I had no idea. Supposed to be the fighting game guy, and I didn't fucking know this game came out on PS3 already.
I used to enjoy. I don't remember which Virtual Fighter it was, but I think it was like the Dreamcast one when I had my Dreamcast. There was like you could like train your fighters to like how they fought. Like there was like some AI component to it. I could be totally mixing this up with some other game, but I think it was like the Kumite mode where you could like train like the AI to kind of do like how you fight, and then put them up against other people. Kind of like what Killer Instinct does.
I was gonna say, I know the new Killer Instinct is doing that, the Shadow mode, and that works really well.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that with Virtua Fighter though. Well, this is cool. Fucking confusing as shit. Don't know why this exists, but it's cool. I'll look into it for sure.
Virtua Fighter 3 was on Dreamcast. I don't know if it was 3 or I don't know which one it was, but I remember that was a system that one of these games had where you could like train. Am I? Clay sounds like he knows, but I'm not. I don't remember, to be honest. But I thought that was like a thing you could do in these games,
Virtua
or
Fighter 3
maybe
was on Dreamcast. It was on Dreamcast and arcade. Just looked it up.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I always thought that was cool, even though I wasn't good at the game. I could train some bad AI.
Take them down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, that's a thing that's happening. Also, Star Wars Squadrons, that's coming out, which is cool. I mean, I wanted to play it, but I didn't want to pay for it, and this is a great way to do it.
Some people like this game. I think they're wrong.
I know you have
But
beef with this game.
the actual game that's there is like good, but the thing that they put around the game, that whole like VR thing, but not VR. I mean, the game is in VR, but it's like you don't get to interact with anything. You just kind of just stand in one spot and rotate around, and people enjoy that for some reason. So, but it was fairly I think it was like a $30 game. So, yeah, the campaign wasn't terrible, and then the online mode is actually really good. Um, the whole dogfight mode is really, really, really good. So that's probably the best thing about the game.
On Game Pass, really? Oh, right, because of the EA access. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to deal with that bullshit.
I mean, I don't have to deal with anything because
Yeah,
nobody hacked
sure,
my shit.
sure,
So
sure.
I'm sorry you have to deal with. I can sympathize with you, but I can't empathize with you, my man. I'm not going to enjoy it because your shit's fucked up. Um, but yeah, I mean, we got those coming out in June. It'll be cool to see, man. I mean, I love me some Star Wars. I'm definitely going to be playing that, or I'll probably just play it on Game Pass because Xbox or because PC. Um, Let me see what else we got here. Totally unorganized right now. Some quickie news. We got Horizon Forbidden West State of Play. Gameplay reveal that was just announced at the State of Play a couple days ago on May 27th.
Yeah.
Um, I never even finished Horizon Zero Dawn, man, and I feel kind of bad
No, you're not missing
because
anything.
that's what everyone. That's what you tell me. But like, I
Oh,
went
hey,
bought the
look,
fucking game. I should at least finish it. Like,
it's not a bad game. I just think, and this is probably because I play way too many games, but it's so I don't have this lens of things being fresh anymore. I always have to compare shit to other shit. But this game is just very it just has elements of like every other open world game that has ever existed. It's like Far Cry mixed with Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor mixed with name any other open world game. It just doesn't do anything fresh aside from the one thing I do like about it, which is the machines, the like the machine enemies are like really fun to fight. But then the downside to that is like you kind of waste more resources than you gain by fighting those guys. So like towards the end of the game, I was just kind of just running past and avoiding all of them. But the story is really good. But even that's kind of like a little like played out now. There's still other games that kind of do the exact same story. Even this game, if you look at
what other games have a story with like robot
Enslaved,
dinosaurs? Okay,
Odyssey to the West is the
okay.
exact same story. Exact same story. Even this is West now, so it's the exact story. If you ever play that game, just look at that story and then look at this, and you're like, "This is the exact same game." Uh, but I digest. It's still the I think the best thing about this game is still like the machines, the whole design of the world, even the graphically, it's a technical marvel. It's very beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
So I was hoping the one thing I was hoping that they would improve in this game, and it looks like they did, is the melee combat, which they showed us a small segment of later on. Let's see if we can scroll over to that. The melee combat looks so much better. This was the worst part of that fucking game. Was anytime you had to fight a human, it sucked. They were just not. I mean, it does the open world shit, the open world stealth shit of I'm gonna hide in this grass, I'm gonna whistle, one guy's gonna hear me and come over, and then I'm gonna stealth kill him, hide him in the grass, and then do it over and over again for every enemy in this area. It was the worst. It was the worst, and that's what every like stealth open world game does. Is I'm gonna lure this guy over, stealth kill him in the grass, and then do it over and over again. Which you could probably still do in this, but like at least once you enter the combat, it's so much better. It looks like
Yeah,
so.
this looks fucking fun actually. Watching
Yeah,
you like fuck that out, jump off a machine with an arrow. That was really cool looking.
yeah. So, um, that I think was the weakest part of that game, and it looks like they've improved it at least a little bit here. So that's good. But most everything else just looks like another Horizon. Looks more of the same. Looks like you got a couple of different tools. He has like a grappling hook now.
Yeah,
Um,
which is cool to see. I like the crazier like animations. Like the game doesn't look like it's trying to be like super realistic. It's just trying to do cool shit, and I like that.
yeah.
Like it looks like a lot of fun. Like it looks good, and I mean I have the original. So I think I'll just go back and finish it anyway. I have it. I might
Uh,
as well just finish it.
what I did was I set the game to easy mode and I just sprinted through it. I don't know. I
I
did
might
not
have to do
enjoy
that after
playing
that.
that game, but I found the story interesting at least. Like um, yeah, it's worth playing through to just to experience it. But I don't know. People are saying this is my favorite game of all time, and I'm like, what? Like,
Really?
I'm curious as to what other games you've played because if you've played a Far Cry game, it's doing like all the Far Cry shit it does. Um, and then like other open world games, it also does. So I don't know. I just couldn't see it in that light. But
I
it's a
think it
good
was a
game.
bad game, but
It's a
I
good
wouldn't say it's like the best game ever.
yeah. It's a good game. It's just it does what other games do. It just doesn't do anything that unique. And that's my problem with it. But yeah, so this is a good look um at, someone with a PS5 has to offer. Now this is also a PS4 game, so that's where I'm going to play it. Uh cuz fuck that shit. Or if they announce it's coming to PC soon after, then I'm going to do that. But um yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this other than
All
it looks
right.
good.
We also got a look. If you guys want some more like behind the scenes like dev shit, we got a look at the Unreal Engine 5. Had a like early access like showcase.
No, this is not a
We're checking out.
showcase. It's out. You can download this right now.
Well, I mean the video that's up is like kind of
Oh yeah.
showcasing stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
actually
up now to download. It's not
yeah.
production ready, but it's there to download and play around with.
A lot of
Damn.
studios have announced that they're starting to build their games on this. I know Dragon Quest 12 they announced that's going to be using Unreal Engine 5, so that's
Which is astounding because Dragon Quest 11 used Unreal Engine 4, and that game looked phenomenal. I love the
yeah.
way that game looks. I have it on Switch, and I think this game still looks pretty as fuck. So this is intense. Like looking at some of the photorealistics that they're showing off later. Holy shit!
Yeah. So this
Well,
is
you remember when you were a kid? When you were a kid, were you ever like, what if games look so good it looks like real life? And like we're getting
yeah,
there.
which was like Mortal Kombat because you're like, oh, Mortal Kombat uses like real people. So you never look better than this, but realistically, that wasn't. It's not
Yeah,
actually.
it's so quaint now to think about that. And you see shit like this. God damn, dude! If you had shown me this when I was like 10, it would have blown my fucking mind. I would
Yeah,
have been
well,
like,
good.
wait, you mean games can look like this?
Good graphics don't make a good game though.
They
So
do not. They do not. But it is still. I mean, we're a video game podcast, man. A big part of games, graphical fidelity, is an important part in games now. And seeing leaps in technology to bring that in, it's
yeah,
cool to see. We can still get good games out of it, but games look like this. I mean, what's wrong with that? Nothing. Not that
yeah,
we look.
yeah.
I'm excited. Um,
But this is what I want. This is what I want. I want games that come out and show me why I need the new thing.
yeah.
Uh, so I'm excited to see what comes out of this and makes me actually look at a PS5 and go, damn, I need that. Because there's nothing right now for me. But
Yeah, same. There's
also
nothing out there that makes you want to buy a PS5.
um like because PS5 is not PS5 and both the Xbox Series consoles like right now they're very appealing options because trying to build a PC of equivalent power is fucking impossible right now
Yeah.
for the same price. So like if you can get a PS5 or Xbox Series X, that's kind of the more appealing option. So
Yeah, for
and
right
then
now at
if
least. There's really
yeah,
nothing out for it to get, which
yeah,
is a bummer. Um, this looks impressive. I can't wait to see other games, what games get announced using this engine. It's really cool, man. Every time I see shit like this, I'm like, fuck, look how far we come.
yeah.
The game's gonna be good, of course, obviously. I don't want no jank ass games. I don't want to order 1866 again.
Oh boy, I
Remember
played
that
through that
fucking
game.
disaster?
I played through that and got the platinum trophy on one playthrough on the easiest difficulty.
I was excited for that game. That game almost convinced me to buy a PS4. Like that was like, I was like, "Fuck, this game looks amazing. I need to
Yeah,
get this game. This is the game. This is the game that's gonna get me to buy a PS4." And luckily, I couldn't fucking get a hold of one at the time, so it wasn't a big deal for me. Um, but when the game came out, and I saw, oh, it's just an average third-person shooter that looks pretty. I was like, oh, Good thing I didn't
Yeah.
waste my time then.
But to be fair, it's still one of the best looking PS4 games that's ever come out. Like it still looks phenomenal. It's just, the game's bad.
Yeah, and that's the bummer, dude.
But Unreal Engine 5, you can go to their site and just download the engine now. You can just download it. It's free. So you can download it and start making shit. So if you're trying to make some games, you can do it.
We also got an announcement that Xbox and Bethesda will have a game showcase Sunday, June 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's something cool, dude. Anytime Xbox and Bethesda have a showcase, it's always cool shit. Especially now that like I have Game Pass, I actually have some stake in this showcase here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is big because it's the first. They're doing it together
Yeah, it's
because
their first
they.
one after their merger,
Yeah.
after the
So
buyout, I should say, not a merger. But yeah,
I'm fucking like this is probably the most excited thing for me for E3 this year
dude,
is like
same.
Bethesda basically. I'm super and Xbox because they all this shit is like under them now and they own so many studios and no one knows what the fuck they've been working on. So like Xbox and Bethesda is like my that's what I'm excited for. So
Dude, same. And the fact that we have Game Pass, so like
yeah,
most,
and
if
Game
not all
Pass.
of that's gonna be like coming to us. Like I want the pay. If they announce like Elder Scrolls 6 with the release date, I'll be like, cool. I can play that with Game Pass on that release date.
Yeah. But we already know like Obsidian is working on that game Avowed, which is like
Yes.
their Elder Scrolls, which it seemed like it was going to be that, but we don't know what the fuck it is because they haven't shown
Yeah.
anything. Except a guy with magic in one hand and a sword in the other hand, which is the big Skyrim thing. So, like, that's all you need to show me, and I'm like, oh my god. Uh, but yeah, this is
Excited,
big.
dude. I'm excited as fuck. We got a release date for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl that is dropping November 19th. Honestly, don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. I love Diamond and Pearl, but I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up. I probably
Um,
will. I'm a sucker for Pokemon. I might
yeah,
pick it
I
up.
don't know. I was out of Pokemon by this time, so I don't know what the reception of Diamond and Pearl were.
Diamond and Pearl was reviewed very well. It did some of the major stuff that we see now. Stuff like different stats for physical and special attacks. Because previously in the game, attack was just attack. So if your character was like, how can I word it? It's just fucking dumb the way they broke it out. It was the same stat to like determine a punch, the damage a punch did, and the damage a psychic attack did, which was fucking dumb. So
Hmm.
it's one of the first games like introduced like different stats specifically for that. Um, Actually, no, I think three did that. Third generation did that, but fourth actually split up different moves having. Yeah, so my bad. So third generation, they were done by type. So if an attack was like normal attack, fighting attack, rock attack, they were all considered attacks. If it was elemental, fire, grass, water, they were all considered special. Even if you did a move like blaze kick or fire punch, it was still considered a special attack. So if you had a Pokemon that had low special attack, they couldn't do attacks for their element if they're like a fire type, for example. Four was one of the first games like actually introduced like different moves having different type attacks. Um, that's like unneeded trivia that I just wasted everyone's time with. Um,
Here's some more trivia. For some reason, Twitter wants me to know that there was a robot on the cover of Gay Times. Okay.
I mean,
Well,
is it a gay robot?
no.
That'd be very
there's
progressive.
your,
The
your
world's first gay robot.
there's your July issue, the world's first gay robot called Ahura. Ahura.
That is a great name. I'm surprised no one's come up with that before. Um, but no, we got that coming out. We also have Pokemon Breath of the Wild coming out January 28th.
It's not Breath of the Wild,
I
but
know, I
okay.
know. I'm saying that to piss you off.
I mean, for all we know, it could be, but we don't know that because they didn't
Yeah, we
say
don't know
shit
shit
about
about
it.
it. We don't know shit about it. We got a release date for it and a box art. But if you look, the rating's still pending. We haven't had any fucking information on it. So I'm like, really? You're gonna announce a release date before we see anything on it? Whatever.
Well, Nintendo likes to they'll announce shit that's like pretty close to release. They don't really like to tease shit out like that.
And
So
it pisses me off because, like, look, you're already taking pre-orders for it. I don't know dick about this game, dude.
it's a Pokemon game. You don't need to know anything about it. Buy it.
And in more exciting news, Uncharted 4 is coming to PC. I did not think I would see that happening.
Yay! What about the other 3, 4, 5 games?
I know we got
Um,
Uncharted 1 through 3. Then
Golden
we had
Abyss.
Golden Abyss and that Uncharted 4 DLC. What was it? What am I talking
Uh,
about?
yeah, the Legend of Shirley Temple.
Yes, The Legend of Shirley Temple.
Yep.
Um, but yeah,
Uh,
so the source here is a this is
Lost
this legit?
Legacy.
Is this
Uh,
legit?
yeah, this is legit. So this is just a screen cap from their investor. They had a whole investor presentation, which was like 30, 40 pages or something like that. It's just this is just a clip of that. I could have put the whole PDF up of the thing, but I'm not going to scroll through like 30 pages of where this shows up.
Yeah.
But in that, they had this slide that said more PC releases planned, and then under Days Gone, it says Uncharted 4. And yes, it is real. Um,
That is really cool.
yeah, some
Um,
other stuff came out of this. Like they have this whole mobile plan that I didn't look into, and then like the whole games as a service thing that they're trying to do, which I don't know about that, but um, but next to it they have Horizon Zero Dawn, which says they had a return on investment of 250% on PC.
wow, really?
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
so clearly they've done with everyone else is doing. They've finally figured out that hey, there's this whole audience on PC. There's this whole market on PC that we're not tapping into, and we should be tapping into. Like Japan had to realize this like a couple years ago and now they've like started releasing like all their Japanese bullshit on Steam. Same thing here. Like they realize that hey, there's this market here that we're not utilizing. Let's get in on that. So yeah,
It's fantastic to hear, man. I can't wait to see. Maybe we can get like maybe I know it's never gonna happen, but maybe we can get enough games coming out that I don't have to buy a PS5. Maybe
yeah.
Do
Fingers
God of
crossed.
War. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't want to buy a PS5. I got like an over $2,000 gaming computer here, man. Why would I want to buy a PS5 now?
Yeah, and the thing about like consoles is like Microsoft said this during the Epic Games trial, which I think is over now. So there's no verdict yet. I'm probably never gonna see a verdict on that. Well, we are, but not anytime soon. But Microsoft said they've never made a profit on any of their console sales. It's all it's all like the third party like software shit that is where the profits made.
Yeah.
So clearly, if like Sony wants to, they can also have their profits. If their return on investment on PC was like 250% for Horizon Zero Dawn alone, they obviously there's money to be made for them on PC even without those console sales. So, but I'm thinking maybe they try to like set up their own platform at some point. Like obviously they weren't really ready to dive into PC as early as they did, but I'm thinking they're gonna like set up their own like here's a PlayStation Origin client that you download and here's where all the PlayStation games are gonna be. Fuck Steam. They're gonna probably do something like that.
I
I think.
really I have so many clients. Like I really hope they don't, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Um we also got to look Little Nightmares is free on Steam now till May 30th. I
Yeah.
just when I read that, I went and like added it to my library. So
Yeah, a
like
lot of
go do
people,
that. It's
a
free.
lot
It's
of
free.
people really love this game. I have not had the pleasure of trying it yet, but
Me neither. No, I
Rebel in the
can't.
chat. Rebel, what's up? We do this live, gameoverse.com/Twitch, gameoverse.com/YouTube. But yeah, a lot of people say that this Little Nightmares is like the prime example of this kind of game. Little Nightmares. Here's the link for anyone that needs the link. It's free right now until like tomorrow, so fucking get it now. But yeah, people say that this is like the prime example of this kind of like when I think of these kind of games, I think of the first games I think of are Limbo
Yeah.
and Inside. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Outside for a second. I was like, no. Um, but I think this is like a lot of people's like number one or number three when it comes to these games. So, um, free right now. Give it a try. I know Little Nightmares 2 is out, and a lot of people are enjoying that, especially Doja Cat. Seen a lot of videos of her playing Little Nightmares 2. So,
Yeah, I saw that too. My wife's like in love with Doja Cat, so I've been seeing like secondhand some of the stuff on her Twitter. Um, but yeah, Company of Heroes 2 is also free on Steam until the 31st of May. Oh, that's more of like an RTS, but I mean, free game, just add it to your library.
yeah.
Um, so videos and trailers. We finally got a gameplay reveal. Oh, excuse me. That was a weird hiccup. We got a
You're
gameplay
right.
reveal for Far Cry 6. Yeah, I got a hiccup. For we got a gameplay reveal for Far Cry 6. Um, I mean, I kind of looked through it. It looks cool. It looks interesting. It's Far
It
Cry.
looks like Far Cry. The
Yeah, it looks like
one the one thing I'll say about it is 'cause I don't have much to say about it is that Jesus, really doesn't start until. Could have trimmed this up, guys, before you put it up on the thing. Okay. The one thing I'll say about this is it seems to have a lot more character in it than your traditional Far Cry game, right? Like
yeah,
usually Far Cry has been about like I guess like the world and just like it's been like strictly gameplay focus and not so much story or characters or anything like that. Usually the only characters they focus on is like the villain.
yeah.
But in this you really see like the main character for one has a face and a name and a voice. Uh and then like all like the supporting characters also seem like they're playing like more of a role as well. So I don't know if that's what I want out of Far Cry. Uh, like I did want them to kind of change it up a little bit, and this is a change for them, I guess. But I don't know if it's kind of the change I was looking for. But it looks interesting. Uh,
It looks really interesting, and I haven't played a Far Cry game since fucking 3. I
yeah.
played 3 and like that's it because 4 and 5 look the same. Well, 5 looks different enough. I might pick it up, but I haven't been interested in Far Cry for a while. And 6 looks pretty cool, man. I like Giancarlo Esposito. He plays the bad guy in this
Yeah.
game. He's a great actor. You know, Breaking Bad. He was in Community too, which is really fucking funny. I really,
Revel
really want to see this.
Rebel asks in the chat, just like you can if you go to gameverse.com/Twitch. He says, "What change would you want?" Um, and really, I don't really know.
Yeah,
But what I do know is that Far Cry has been very formulaic over the past like decade. Ever since like Far Cry 3, they've been making kind of the same game with just small little changes here and there. So the story thing just seems like another small change, but I kind of just want to see them just go in a completely different direction. Like the thing I like Far Cry 2 because it's totally different. It's you had like malaria. You had to like pull out your
yep.
map, and that the
I
map was
love Far Cry
actually
2.
a physical object in the world. So like you couldn't like drive and look at your map. I mean, you could do that, but you wouldn't be able to look at the road if you were looking at your map. So
What
it's
I
like
liked
that kind
about
of
Far
stuff.
Cry, Yeah, what I liked about Far Cry 2, and this is something I want to piggyback off of, is that it had a progression system, but it wasn't like Far Cry 3 had. Like Far Cry 3, if we're gonna compare it, Far Cry 3 is like Oblivion, where like 2 is like Morrowind or no, sorry, Far Cry 3 is like Skyrim, where 3 is like Oblivion or Morrowind. In the sense that Far Cry 3 kind of lets you be this like badass superhero, but Far Cry 2 kind of grounds you, like you're still a person. You still have to,
Yeah,
you don't get these like overpowered abilities. So it focuses more on having the right equipment when you go in to take on a job, surveying the area. You had to do all that ahead of time. So I felt like it was more rewarding to take over these outposts because I didn't have like a superpower to do it with. You know what I mean?
yeah. I
And I
think
would
one of the
love to see more like
things,
that. Controversial opinion, really quick, but I would want them to step back from this like Elder Scrolls, like Skyrim style RPG system where you can just kind of put points into anything. You can make this character's maxed out and everything, and make it more of a like like an immersive sim. Something like I like the idea of Far Cry. If you made it the gameplay more something like Dishonored or something like Prey, where you have to build your character out in a specific way, and there's actual multiple ways to tackle each scenario the game throws at you. I think we can get something more interesting with that. But
yeah.
that's my opinion.
I think one of the things that applies to Far Cry right now, and I think applies to there's a good documentary series from a YouTube channel called Never Knows Best, which I posted in a Discord, but I'm gonna relink it here. So he goes through all of the Elder Scrolls games and kind of just does like a retrospective on like what those games were and the impact and how it's changed over time. And one of the things I think applies to kind of all games right now, especially Far Cry, is that they're making these games for to appeal to a wider audience. And I think
Yeah,
that's what is lost here, is that in trying to appeal to everyone, you kind of lose what made those games appeal to the people that fell in love with them to begin with. Because not every game, not and art in general is not supposed to appeal to everyone,
yeah.
right? Like you're supposed to kind of just go to art and kind of get what you want out of it, and or like it's supposed to appeal to you in like a special kind of way. Whereas when you make this thing that's supposed to appeal to everyone, it just doesn't really. It loses its quirks.
It's
It
very
loses its charm.
shallow. It's very
Yeah.
vapid. And I know
So
exactly what you mean. Like I felt the same way. Like going, you play again the Elder Scrolls example. You play Skyrim, which is a very easy vanilla RPG. I hate to admit that to people, but you're not playing a role in Skyrim, not really. The only RPG aspects in it are like the big choices you're making, but even then it's if you could dump your points into everything and be a superhero at the end of the game, is it really like an RPG? Are you really playing a role?
yeah.
Going
So
from
like
again Oblivion to Skyrim, you go Far Cry 2 to Far Cry 3, that gap there, they try to make it appeal to everybody, but when they did that, it didn't have the stuff that I loved in it when it carried over.
yeah. So I think that's my like main thing with Far Cry, but like also like most games in general is that they don't really. I don't know. They don't appeal to me in the same way that they kind of used to because they've changed. Or you know what? I think it was someone did like an Assassin's Creed retrospective, and I think that's where they said this. It's like the most recent Assassin's Creed games are trying to appeal to much like a wider audience by appealing less to the assassin shit and appealing more to the history that is taking place in. So that's why you get these like, yeah, Greek history, it's cool, huh? Everyone loves that, or like Vikings, everyone loves that. And you kind of lose the assassin shit. So that's I think where this is like losing me. Kind of got way off tangent here, but not really. But
Yeah, we're still talking about Far Cry, like,
yeah, yeah,
and but I know exactly what you mean, and because of that, there is some stuff that's lost in it. And I think Avalanche Reviews like said it best for a similar retrospective. He was talking about Dead Space, and in the hunt to make a game that everybody likes, you don't make a game that people love, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have those things that people like fall in love with. They have these things people like, they play through and forget about it until the next one comes out next year.
Yeah. So,
And that's really it's a huge bummer to me. I mean, hopefully there's something different. Like maybe there's something different, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with it. Um, in the meantime, we do have some other trailers that to go over. Dying Light 2 Stay Human got a gameplay trailer. This is, if you guys remember correctly, they announced this at E3 a couple years ago. We've heard nothing from it until they put out a video basically saying, hey, we're still fucking working on it. Stop being so toxic on Twitter. But we're
yeah.
still here. And then now we got a gameplay trailer, which looks legit. Like Dying Light's a fucking, despite the fact the game sold really well, I still think Dying Light's a very underrated game because people still aren't talking about it. And they are still releasing content and updates for Dying Light even now.
Yeah.
Um, so seeing Dying Light 2, it's really cool, man. I love me some Dying Light. I can't wait to see this come out. I'm probably gonna pick this up day one if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I'm also in the camp that's played a little bit of Dying Light, but I don't really talk about it, or like it didn't really affect me that much. Even though I played a little bit of it, but I just never get through most of it. I always like stop at the same point. I think was it Rebel I was playing with last time? I was playing with someone last time, and yeah, it was just I just never I always drop it for like no reason other than it just doesn't grab me.
Oh, it grabbed me, dude. It grabbed me hard, and I loved it. I finished it on PS4, rebought it on Steam. I'm still playing on Steam right now. I still think it's a good game. Dying Light 2 looks really cool. They talked about having all kinds of new features, new factions you can join, and the factions you join, the things you do actually affect how the game plays out. You still have these nighttime zombies and some new zombie variants that come out at night that look really cool. I really want to check this out. I'll probably be picking this up day one if I'm being honest with you. This looks like a lot of fun. And as a fan of the
Um,
first one, I would love to play the second one.
yeah, and this did get a release date. And so did Far Cry. I don't know if we mentioned that, but
Yeah,
Far
Far
Cry they
Cry's
had
coming
a
out in
re-
October.
yeah, October 7. Dying Light is December 7, which is weird.
Yeah, 2 months from
Um,
each other.
yeah. Games are well, somebody about to pirate it. No, I'm not. Maybe. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
you're
lie.
not pirating
I
your
pirate
phone
games
lost.
sometimes. I pirate games sometimes. But if I pirated my favorite game of all time, I pirated Outer Wilds and then played it for like 2 hours, and then I bought it twice. Okay, multiple times, and I bought it for other people too. Like, so if your game is good, I'm gonna pirate it maybe, but then I'm gonna buy it. Okay, like money, games are expensive now, man. Let's be honest here. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, I pirated shit, and then I bought them. Okay.
I don't know
Virtua
where we're
Fighter
going with
5.
this. Yeah, Virtua Fighter 5 is
I'm
coming out. Um, Virtua Fighter 5 is coming out. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown drops June 1st, 2021. Mentioned earlier, you can get that on PlayStation Plus. I mean, it looks all right. I'm not gonna complain. It looks like Dead or Alive, which I like. I'm definitely gonna. I mean, it's free PlayStation Plus. So I'm definitely gonna download it and play it at least. But it looks neat.
um how's the FGC feel about this? What are
I mean,
they?
nobody's talked about Virtua Fighter in like, God, like 10 years, dude.
This didn't like
Well, Virtua
rekindle the
Fighter,
flame?
Virtua Fighter 5 came out like what, 2006 is when it first released, and at that point, the FGC was around, but it didn't really hit its like major boom until Street Fighter 4, which came out like 2008.
who is this
Question
for?
mark?
Is like my real question is who is like fucking oh yeah fuck yeah Virtual Fighter 5 yeah finally been waiting for this like
No, not
who's
even a new Virtua Fighter. It makes too
yeah
much sense to make Virtua Fighter 6 or do a reboot, a remake of Virtua Fighter 5, a remaster of Virtua Fighter 5. Like what? What the fuck? But whatever, whatever. Jokes aside, um, it looks like fun, and I like me some fighting games. This looks like a fun game. Um, so weird that this is coming out though. Why does this exist? And I don't think the FGC really has. No one's playing Virtua Fighter at Evo. At least not that I know
yeah.
of.
Well, like I
And
said,
again, Virtua Fighter.
a
Yeah,
lot of these characters they've just merged into Dead or Alive, where they have their like full move set. Not all the characters, but like most of the the memorable ones are in there already. So I just don't know why this needs to exist, and you can't just
me
like
neither.
fully.
Yeah, me neither. It's such a weird game to be coming out, but I mean, it's PlayStation Plus, man. I'm definitely gonna download. I'm definitely gonna try it, and I'll have an opinion
Yeah,
probably next week. But it looks. I can't even say it looks interesting because now that I know it's just a port of an older game. So here's my thing. Again, Virtua Fighter 5 came out 2006. At the time, FGC was still around, but it wasn't quite hitting gangbusters like it is now. In fact, I will argue that we don't see the current FGC that we know and love now if it wasn't for Street Fighter 4 coming out about 2 years later. When a fighting game like this came out, it was just coming out to come out. They weren't trying to get into this like competitive scene like Street Fighter was.
yeah,
Um, so because of that, again, who is this for? Is this gonna come out? Is this gonna be at Evo next year? Like, why is this? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. And then
Um,
Clay did mention, which I did see this news that they didn't add rollback netcode into this.
what the fuck? What? No! Why does this exist? Fuck this game. I'm gonna throw this out there. Okay, those of you who don't know, netcode makes or breaks a game. At least for me, it does. The reason I'm still playing Power Rangers because the netcode is fucking beautiful. Fucking chef's kiss netcode for Power Rangers. And the fact that Virtua Fighter is not supporting rollback netcode, like the bare minimum for fighting games, like what the fuck's wrong with you? Oh my god. I'm even less excited for this now than I was before. I didn't think that'd be possible. I went from whatever to fuck this game. Um, I don't know. Move next story. Sonic Colors Ultimate's coming out,
Yeah.
which a lot of people argue Sonic Colors is like probably the best Sonic game to come out in the last like 10 years. I know a lot of
Wait,
people
hold
love this
on.
game.
There's a Sega put someone put something out about the netcode thing.
Oh yeah.
Uh, A Block. Who is this? Hambo. Hambo gave us this. What is this about? Sega might have an announcement coming for something better than current netcode. Is what this is about. Um, we are creating
Okay.
a mechanism to absorb the delay by a method other than rollback. We're also doing playtests with overseas, such as Europe and the United States, and we can play without delay.
Okay. I'm excited again. If this is a thing, I'm excited again. Um, okay, now I'm really, really excited. If they have something, if they have like this crazy zero delay netcode that doesn't use rollback, I'm excited. Um, okay, then we'll have to wait and see when that comes out. I'll probably be playing this June 1st now. Thank
Well,
you
what
for
they're
that. Thanks,
saying it's
Ambo.
not gonna be in there from the jump, but it'll be at some point they'll have it.
I thought it was just that they're gonna have something else. Did I read that wrong?
It said we are creating a mechanism. It doesn't say that they have created a mechanism, but I don't know.
Oh well, that bums me out. That bums me out. dude, I don't know what to do with myself now. Like, should I be excited? Should I be like, fuck this game? Um, I guess I'll have to wait and see. I'm probably gonna play it June. I'll test the netcode then. We'll see how it feels.
Hold
And
on.
if it's
Twitter
like
thinks I
garbage,
should know. Twitter thinks it's important for me to know that there is a Minecraft championship underway.
how does that work? Minecraft Championship? What is that?
Does anyone know about this? Streamers take on a host of challenges. Oh, it's like a reality TV show that's in the Minecraft universe. That actually sounds interesting. Okay, sorry. Twitter just throws stuff at me, and I'm like, why do you like what's? All right,
I mean,
let's.
okay.
Um,
We can do this
hater
live,
Vin
everybody. We do this live,
hater
everybody.
Vincius. What's up, hater Vincius? I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure, but what's up to you? Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, Sonic Colors Ultimate is coming out, which a lot of people argue is probably one of the best Sonic games to come out in the last like what 5-10 years. I got a lot of positive reviews for how it played. It mixed 2D and 3D Sonic styles very well. The Wisps got a lot of attention. The only thing that I think really fucked this game over is that it came out on the Wii, so like nobody played it.
Yeah,
Well, I should say that a lot of people played it, but you know, the Wii wasn't the most popular game system among gamers.
yeah.
And now that
Um,
it's coming out to more modern systems, Switch specifically, I'm excited. Oh, this looks cool. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've yet to play a Sonic game that I like really liked.
have you tried Sonic Adventure?
Dude, don't even start with me. Like, don't start with me.
Those
Um,
games are terrible, man, but I love them. So
I'm just throwing it out there. If you look at like Sonic's highest highs and compare it to their compare it to something like Mario's highest highs.
sure.
You know, are you really gonna compare like even Sonic Colors? People say it's like, oh, it's one of the best Sonic games to come out. Are you gonna compare that to like Mario 3D World or Super Mario Sunshine or you know, and literally anything Mario's done is better than Sonic Colors. I can't say I haven't played Sonic Colors, but you know, like what Sonic's a
Uh,
bad game. Sonic's bad.
no, I agree.
And
I
I
agree.
have yet to play like a Sonic. Even like the 2D Sonic games, I don't like them. And a controversial opinion, I don't
No,
like
I
Sonic.
agree. I've never
Um,
liked any of those Sonic games because I don't know.
I
I feel like the design of those games are always at odds with the idea of Sonic, which is to go fast. But in all those games, you always have to stop and like do some shitty platforming, and I'm like, this just doesn't mesh with what you want Sonic to be doing.
I will
Like,
argue, and this is a controversial opinion here. Sonic, God, what was that? Sonic Forces? Is that what it was called? I played that. That was fun.
okay,
I would replay levels, try to get a better time, and once I got the hang of it, I was having fun, like blasting through levels, and I really felt like it was me doing it. But
Vincius in the YouTube chat is very upset about Sonic.
now here's my thing.
Yeah.
Let me defend myself, and you can tell me to go kill myself. Um, like
Okay.
Wasabi said, a lot of things are at odds with how the game plays. For every time, you know, there's this great moment where you can rush through it. And granted, you know, you got to be good at the game to rush through it. This is not just going to give you speed. You got to like build it up. But there's always some stupid platform bullshit you got to deal with, or like an underwater section that sucks ass.
Oh yeah. Fuck that.
And then you have Sonic Forces, which has shorter levels that aren't that don't have as much bullshit in it. And as you play through it, if you get good at it, you can start getting through you can get through it really fast. You can take other routes you couldn't get a hold through the first time. I think Sonic Forces has some great design to let you get through the game and play it the way a Sonic game should feel. I've done some cool shit in that game, especially with the power ups it gives you, with the weird gun mechanic that I thought was going to be stupid, but actually worked out really well. are fucking great. But then you play the classic Sonic levels, which don't have to be there. I don't know why that's there. There's no fucking reason for those to be there. This isn't Sonic
Okay,
Generations 2,
is that
and that like slows the whole game down.
I get confused about what Sonic games are what because they all have stupid names and like so I don't really when you say Sonic Forces I don't picture I don't picture it like I don't know which game that
That's
is.
the one that lets you make your own OC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I
that
have
I
that
thought that was
game.
gonna suck. I thought it was gonna suck, but surprisingly, the OC stuff is pretty cool. And the special abilities your OC gets, depending on like the character you pick, you can have like a grappling hook or like a gun or like this weird like Ghostbusters vacuum. There's all kinds of cool shit, and they affect combat and also like how you traverse through the environment. And it works pretty well. Like I was impressed with how well it worked. And when you get really good at it, you can do some pretty cool shit and get some really good times, and you feel awesome when you do it. Um, Even the Sonic parts, like they feel pretty comfortable too when you're playing as both of them. It feels really cool. But then for some fucking reason they shoehorn classic Sonic in there. You know, that chubby Sonic with 2D levels, and I'm like, why is that a thing? Why does he have to be there? Like they shoehorn him in like halfway through the game,
Yeah.
and there's no fucking reason for him to be there. This isn't Sonic Generations 2. Why is that a thing?
Now, Hambo Hambo brings up in the chat here. He says, "I just want Sonic Adventures 3 with a Chow Garden online console plus phone crossplay," and he is absolutely correct on that. Sonic Adventure 3
All
would
right,
be
so hear
fucking
me
now.
out on Sonic Adventure
They
3 now. Hear me out on
yeah.
Sonic Adventure 3 now. What parts of Sonic Adventure do you like?
Okay, look, man. Look, okay.
All right.
It's not so much the individual components of I look, they're terrible games. They're bad games,
Yes,
but
they are.
they were fun games. And look, if Clay, likes fun, then you have to like Sonic Adventure because they're just fun, over the top,
Here's here's my
stupid
thing.
fucking games. But
I
but
will
but they
argue the
had
Sonic parts are fun. Everything else
no,
fucking
because
sucks on
they
everything.
had the Chow Garden. The Chow Gardens were some of the stupidest shit that you could engage in, but they were fun though. They were fun. They were fun, and not in any sort of fulfilling way, but like just that you can do it. And I'm like, why do I have to raise this like baby? You could like raise like a child or like baby like things, and you could like every enemy you killed had like an animal came out. The whole like premise of Sonic is like this like animal
Fucking weird. Yeah.
preservation thing. So like all the robots that Eggman builds has like an animal that it like captures. So all the enemies you kill in the game have an animal that pops out, and you can like collect them. And then when you take them back to the Chow Garden, you can feed them to your baby chows, and they all had stats that would contribute to their like if you gave them a bunny, it would make them more faster so they could like run faster. And you can take them into the arena, and then they would like fight or they would race, and that was a whole thing separate from the actual game. uh and that I liked about, I just liked that it did it, not that I loved it, but you could do it. So I don't know, those games are just cheesy and over the top and dumb and bad, and I like that. So they teased like a new 2022 Sonic game, but they didn't really have much info for it. I didn't put that trailer in here because it's like 6 seconds of nothing. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think we talked as much. We would talk this much about Sonic, but here we are.
Anyway, here we are. So Sonic is a thing. Monster Hunter Rise got a new update trailer. We have Valstrax showing up. Fucking cool monster. I love Valstrax, and seeing this Crimson Glow Valstrax, which is basically like a fucking fighter jet that dive bombs into you. It's fucking cool. I love this monster, and it's really cool to see him showing up in Monster Hunter Rise. Um, they also updated the game with a new ending, which I was not expecting. On top of some Apex updates, you got an Apex Zenogre is showing up in the game now, so that'll be fun to play. I love the Zenogre. Um, fighting that alongside like the other Apex monsters, the Apex Diablos, Rathalos. It's gonna be really cool. I love these games, and we got to look at a new ending that involves the Valstrax and the two main monsters. I'm really excited to see this. I love Monster Hunter, dude. Any excuse I can get to go back and play it again, I'm gonna do it. Um, that update dropped the 27th, so about 2 days ago. I haven't had a chance to pick it up. I've been busy, but I do plan on once I have the time to sit down and fucking go hard on it. We also got to look at the new collab stuff that's coming out. With Monster Hunter Stories coming out, we have some collaboration stuff, a layered armor set for your Palico, some layered armor for your Hunter that looks really cool. I know I keep talking it up, but that's because I love Monster Hunter, guys. Anyone who's listening knows I love Monster Hunter. Go check it out. The demo's still up on the eShop, so if you absolutely like still are on the fence, just go try the demo. It doesn't cost you anything. Play it. If you like it, go pick it up. It's a fun game.
I'm just
Um,
surprised they're putting out like this much. This game hasn't even been out that long, and they've already put a new ending. And like, I mean, before like even the end of the year, it seems like it's gonna have like even more just ridiculous shit added
they
to it.
kind of always done that. They've always like drip fed new stuff into the game to kind of keep you going back.
Yeah, but this isn't the
But I've
drip feed.
never,
Like they got like the
yeah, this
faucet is
is,
just running.
yeah, which I'm fine with. And they got shit planned up to August. I mean, if you look at that, you hold on that screen there, they fucking, they got shit planned to August. They have that collaboration for mid June, end of June. They have new downloadable content, new monster, new event quests. July they're gonna have event quests and downloadable content. Same for August. They got shit planned out, dude. Um, I love this roadmap. This gives you more shit to play with. I'm excited. I love Monster Hunter, and I'm glad to see more stuff coming out for it. Um, There's something we're both excited for. Game Builder Garage got an overview trailer,
Yeah.
which I am so excited for this, dude. I am so excited for this. It's like it kind of shows you like how their functions work and some of the games you can make with it. So there's a bit of content there. It's like a 5 minute video, four and a half, yeah, 4 minutes, 13 seconds. It's really cool to see though, dude. I can't wait to pick this up. I'm even gonna make sure. I'm just gonna play all the shit other people have made. I can't wait to see like what people put together with this,
Well,
man.
I would probably like make stuff in this because it seems a lot more intuitive than like when I've tried it. We've talked about it before, about like in a Little Big Planet. When I've tried to make stuff there, it's I get lost in all of the like it does have a lot of options, but you kind of get lost in
In the
the
process,
the process of it all, and this seems like it's just a lot more easier to understand and to look at, and so I bet I can make something really simple, uh, even like without a concept. I could just kind of just throw stuff together and just kind of just play with it and work into something like on the fly. Whereas like in Little Big Planet, I really had to plan everything out and do everything exactly how I wanted needed to do it, or how the game wanted me to do it, in order to get stuff to work.
yeah, this looks a lot more loose, and it's surprising because there's a lot of stuff here to play around with, and I can't wait to see it, dude. It's coming out. When's this coming out? Like in June, July,
Uh,
July?
mm,
No, June 11th.
okay,
So in a
next
couple
month.
weeks. And at the very end, I don't know if you saw that, the very end of this trailer here, after they showed off all this cool shit, you
Oh
know,
my
how
god, I didn't even
the,
see this. They made a Picross.
yeah, dude, there's a Picross in there. You can have with other players locally. There's a whole like hub where you can share your stuff and download stuff. But the very, very end, the last couple minutes, they're like, by the way, you can control it with a mouse.
Did what?
Yeah, dude, the very end, like the last like
Oh my
five
god.
seconds.
Holy shit. Okay, so now this is fucking fucked up because one of the biggest things about Mario Maker was that on the Wii U, you could use the touchpad
Yeah,
and that was like kind of the best way to make things on there. And when it came with the Switch, you could use the touch or the touch screen, but like when you had it docked, you couldn't really do that anymore.
Yep.
So they have a solution for this, but they're not gonna like backport this into Mario Maker. Is fucking absurd, dude. That's absurd. And what dock is this that it has like an
All the docks have a
LED?
USB port on the side.
Well, they have a USB port, but like this one has like it's got like another like an icon on it.
Oh, that might be the newer one they released. They released a slightly different model with like some changes to like LEDs and logos and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
functionally the same machine. That might be
Okay.
it.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
man,
that's
this is
fucked up.
dope.
Yeah,
This
I
is
like it.
dope, man. I'm excited for this. And there's some cool shit in here. Like I want to see if anyone like makes any cool. I wonder how deep this goes. Like, can you make like a 30-hour RPG with this? Like, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know
I
how deep this
bet you
goes.
could. I bet you could. Well, yeah. I don't know. I bet you could, but it probably takes. They would probably have to update into that, like they did with like Mario Maker. They eventually got there to the point where you like make worlds and shit.
Yeah, this is cool. I really like this. I'm probably gonna pick this up if I'm being honest. Like June 11th. Hell yeah, dude. I'll be there to pick it up.
Yeah.
Um, we got a look at Streets of Rage 4's reveal for Shiva and the Mr. X Nightmare DLC. Streets of Rage 4 is a good game. You know, it was
Yeah.
on a Game of the Year list last year. We both like Streets of Rage 4. Um, play as anybody but Axel. Literally anybody but Axel. It astounds me how much easier and more fun and fluid the game was once I stopped playing as Axel. Um, Shiva looks fucking dope. He looks
Yeah.
cool as shit. I kind of want
I'm
to go back and replay this now.
well when this DLC comes out, I'm definitely gonna go back and play it.
I'm probably gonna go back and
Um,
play it beforehand because I want to play some Streets of Rage again.
well, I would like when the DLC comes out, I would like replay the entire game and DLC. I don't want to
Yeah,
spoil myself on like because if I play it again, I'm gonna be like, oh, I got my fill of that.
but this looks
Clay
cool.
says Axel is amazing. You're wrong, but okay, it was made for
Clay, fuck
someone.
you. Fuck
Someone's gonna
you.
like him.
You are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong, my man. Um, what's the fucking other guy's name? The black guy. What's his name? You know
uh,
what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Uh, J- uh, J- uh, Jermaine, Jamal,
You just picked the
Adam,
most like
Adam.
Adam. It's something like Jamal, Jamarcus. Oh, Adam.
I'm
But
black.
no,
I can do that.
but no, Adam does everything Axel does, but he has a dash, and he gets out his combos faster, and it has a stronger finisher. Those tweaks, those three tweaks, I was having such a hard time with the game. I thought this game was like an actual. I thought this was a hard game playing as Axel. And then as soon as I unlocked Adam, I was like, "Oh, let's give Adam a try." I fucking blitzed through the rest of the game, dude. The rest of the game was, I broke the game with Adam.
Yeah, Adam's OP.
Dude, he really is. He really is. He really is.
But like
Um,
every other character is better than Axel.
yes, and it's because Axel doesn't have any fucking defensive abilities. He doesn't have a dash. He doesn't have a block. You know, what am I supposed to do? If someone's pulling off some shit on me, the only thing I have is to like space myself out so it doesn't try to hit me, or do that special attack and break it. But that like wipes out my health, and if I get hit trying to bring that back up, it's fucking gone again. And if you have like some asshole enemies that have some asshole abilities, it makes it really fucking hard to get through. Um, and that's why, like, I tell everybody, it's a great game. Just don't play as Axel. He makes the game way harder than it needs to be. I don't know why they didn't tweak him. If he just had like a dash, he doesn't have to change anything. It's like a quick like what Adam has, like a quick like boxer dash. that would be enough to like give me enough like capability to like avoid attacks, but he doesn't have that. And literally everyone else has something, either a dash, a hop, a sprint. Fucking what's the one with the back with the guitar? She has a sprint.
I love her. Like, just
Yeah,
movement
dude.
abilities are great.
Yeah, dude. Like it's not it's a good game. It's a really good beat 'em up. Just don't play as Axel. He's the worst character in that game.
Yeah.
Um, Adam does everything Axel does, but better. Um, where were we? Yeah, Dragon Quest. Streets of Rage is good. You know that DLC is coming out. Go play Streets of Rage. It's fucking phenomenal.
No date on
Dragon
this.
Quest. Yeah.
It says coming soon.
So there's no like release date yet.
Nope.
Ah, that's a bummer. Um, but you know it is also coming soon. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Dumb fucking name,
Yeah.
but when you see what it looks like, you'll understand why it's called that.
So
It kind of reminds me of Octopath Traveler a little
yeah.
bit. It got
I
some
guess
vibes
I
there.
guess there was like a Dragon Quest event recently. I don't know. In Japan, they do shit differently over there. Um, but this just looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. I like it. I really like it.
Never been a Dragon Quest guy, so I
Me
don't know
neither.
how people feel about this. But if this is the one that they're doing this to, then like I said, it's the good one,
Yeah, everyone
right?
loves this one. Everyone talks about this one.
Yeah,
Out of the 2D Dragon Quest games, this is the one everyone talks about. And it looks cool, man. I love me some Dragon Quest. I never fucked with Dragon Quest before. I played Dragon Quest 11 on Switch, still playing through it, and I love it. I like it a lot. And I kind of want to go back and play some of them, but you know, they're old, like 20, 30-year-old games. They haven't aged well. And to see them do this, keep that sprite aesthetic, but do the Octopath Traveler thing, you know, give it like lighting effects, high definition effects. You
yeah,
know, it's cool. I fucks with that. I like the way that looks. It looks cool as fuck. I really like this, and I'm definitely gonna be watching this carefully. It's all in Japanese, so I don't know when that's coming out here in the States, but it looks cool. We also got to look at a new 3D Realms game, Graven, which I've heard about this one before. This is supposed to be like, God damn it, what's that game? I can't remember, but this game looks like another game that's come out before. Haven, maybe I think is what it's called. I can't remember. It was another like 3D Realms game.
yeah, um, yeah. I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah,
you
you know what I'm
forgetting
talking
it makes me forget. So
about. But this looks cool. It's got this really cool old school like aesthetic, which I don't know where this obsession came with like old school shooters, but I'm fine with it. Keep them coming.
yeah. Well, I think the guy that made this made like some of the other ones that came out, like
Oh yeah,
Bomb Babe. I forget what the fuck the bomb, fuck
Ion Maiden.
Bombshell.
Oh, Bombshell.
Bombshell. They did. They might have done Ion Maiden. Um, but like I gotta start jumping into these games. Like I haven't played any of them that's come out, and I need
Same.
to because this I fucking love these. The only one I played
Same.
recently was the Blood remaster, the re-release that came out.
Hmm.
That's like the only one I played, but that's just one I played before. It just looks better.
Yeah, I played
Uh,
the Shadow Warrior remaster. Um, and that was fun. I never played that before, so that was fun. But I haven't played anything else. I keep
yeah,
watching. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I should pick it up, and I never do.
yeah,
But this looks dope as fuck. That's got an early access launch trailer, so you can go check that out in early access now. Get into it. It looks like fun, dude. I'm excited for it. We also got some release dates, man. June 1st, we got Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's already on Switch, right?
yeah. It was just on Switch when it came out the first time. Now it's on everything else.
Which I mean, it looks cool. I fucking hate Ghosts and Goblins, so I'm not gonna play it, but I might go pick it up. We'll see. I fuck
I
with
thought
Ghosts
I thought it looked interesting. Uh, Everyone else seems to hate it though, but I'm like, it looks
I don't like
interesting.
Ghosts and Goblins. It's a personal beef I have with Ghosts and
I mean,
Goblins.
neither
That's
do
why.
I. Neither do I. But like, I still think it looks like, I don't know, slightly easier than those other games, at the very least.
We also got to look at Griftlands coming out on PC. That is a PC RPG, but it focuses on what I like about Griftlands that it focuses on dialogue and conversations as much as it does like combat.
Oh,
In
this is a
fact,
clay
dialogue,
game.
yeah. If you look at it, the dialogue plays out like a turn-based RPG. Like it's really cool.
Yeah,
I really like that idea.
I see cards.
Because
I'm out.
what I like about it is that when you play RPGs and they kind of encourage you, like, oh, talk your way out of a situation, it's cool. You know, in real life, you'd want to do that. You know, you don't want to cause undue risk to yourself and your friends, but talking stuff out is boring in video games, you know? Like, I can go through a gunfight or I can I can talk to a guy, tell him what he wants to hear and avoid the gunfight completely, but that's less of the game I'm playing. Or with this, you know, it actually has a whole like combat system built around dialogue. So you still feel like you're playing the game when you do it. I love that.
Yeah,
Card-based stuff, I'm kind of iffy on. I'm not a huge fan
I
of
just don't know
card
why
systems in games.
games they always like use cards as an analog for uh, a thing. And I'm like, why card? Why can't you just give me like the actual thing? Like whenever you get like a weapon in a game, but you're actually getting a card of that weapon, I'm like, why don't you just give me the weapon and not put a card on it? Like I don't like I never understood the card thing. Just give me the weapon and then I use the weapon and not the card of the weapon.
What's the difference? You're still using the weapon. What's the
Yeah,
difference?
there is no difference. It's just you're making it a card for some reason.
Clay saying he just wants another Mark of the Ninja. I agree. Mark of the Ninja is fucking phenomenal. I would love to see another Mark of the Ninja or another Shank. Shank was cool too. Um,
Yeah.
but this looks interesting. That's coming out June 1st, so something to check out. I didn't know this was coming out so soon, but Necromunda is coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X on the first as well. That's
Um,
another like run and gun shooter, not too
it's
dissimilar
it's
to
my wiener
Doom.
wet. My wiener's wet watching this.
Dude,
It's
same.
not even on
Like
my wish list. How's that? I should be arrested. They're in a wish list right now.
I think I added that to my wish list when it was announced. Let me take a look.
Don't give a fuck about Warhammer 40K, but this game looks good.
Yeah, dude. I don't know dick about Warhammer. I've talked to my buddies about getting into Warhammer. My buddy's really interested in doing it, but he looked at like the guidebooks and the figures, and it's so goddamn expensive. So he's like, I'm out. Um, but this looks dope as fuck, dude.
Looks like
This game looks fucking gangster. Like I love this game,
Wolfenstein, but Warhammer.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Um, this looks cool. That's coming out June 1st. Dude, with this and what else we got? We got a Shadow Warrior 3 coming out like later this year. This is gonna be a good year for shooters, man. We also have an announcement for Stonefly that is also coming out June 1st. PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. So everything. Um, I've never heard of this game before. And looking at this trailer, I still don't know exactly what I'm looking at.
Um, it's a nature, mechs, adventure, exploration, colorful game.
It's
I forgot
developed by
to.
Creature in the Well. Who? What do they make? That name sounds familiar.
My shit says Flight School Studio, but sure.
Oh, I'm looking on YouTube and it says Creature in the Well developer Flight School Studio.
Oh, yeah. Creature in the Well. Nothing that I recognize, but
It sounds familiar. I've probably seen them like for other projects. I don't know. But this, I mean, it looks interesting. It looks
yeah, it
really
looks all right.
colorful. Yeah, nothing outwardly offensive about it.
Looks like a
Also,
futuristic A Bug's Life.
yeah, that's the game Horizon Zero Dawn should have been.
Actually, that sounds interesting.
With robot bugs.
Yeah.
We also got a Virtual Fighter 5 coming out on PS4 June 1st. We talked about that earlier though. Um, Hamtaro was saying Warhammer Classic RTS is all that matters. They went way different direction with it. I mean, they still have the Warhammer RTSs, don't they? Like, didn't Total War Warhammer just
I
release?
I I guess.
Like, they still
Dude,
have
you
those
asked me
games out.
about like Warhammer. It figures that Hamtaro would be the Warhammer guy. I don't
I've
know.
heard good things about Total War. I mean, they just released a new Total War Warhammer, I think like last year or earlier this year. Um, so those are still there. It's just we got some other cool shit with it. We got Space Marines and Vermintide and Necromunda looks really cool. So I don't mind it. Well, I'm also not a Warhammer fan, so that's probably why I don't mind it. I'm sure if someone released like an FPS D&D game, I might feel a little bit different. Actually, that sounds pretty cool when I say it out loud. Someone make that happen. Um, we also got June 3rd. Astalon Tears of Earth is dropping on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I don't know what that is. Have you heard of Astalon?
Nope, pulling it up now. Yeah, I forgot to put the links on those. So, oh, this looks like I want to
What
wish
is
list
that?
that.
Yep, what is this?
Action adventure, pixel graphics, platformer. Uphold your pact with the Titan of Death, Epimetheus. Fight,
Oh
climb, and
shit,
solve
it's
your
a
way.
Castlevania Mega Man clone. I love it. I love this. I love this, dude. How have I never heard of this game? That is going on my wish list right fucking now. What the fuck?
This is why we do this, because we learn about all these fucking games that we didn't know about. This looks badass. Get stronger every time you die.
This looks cool as
Hold
fuck.
on, let me rewind this and turn it up because it probably has a banging soundtrack. Let's see.
Watch the soundtrack be just shit.
We must save the village.
There's voice acting?
I think it's just for
Oh,
that, like.
this is fire. This is fire. Yeah. Gonna have to check this out.
Like a Castlevania Mega Man.
In order for us to survive, I had to embrace death.
If you're not watching the video component of this podcast, you're missing out on
Man, this
some
game looks
fucking.
fucking awesome. Oh man, this looks cool. Good find, Wasabi. Wow, man. Those of you who don't know, Wasabi does all the show notes every week, so you can see follow the same stories we're following. That's
Yeah.
coming out on everything: PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I'll probably be getting it on Switch, if I'm being honest. It's a perfect Switch
Um.
game.
Oh, and they're putting the soundtrack out too on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp. So that's gonna be a buy. No price yet, but that's gonna be a buy.
We also got a new game coming out June 3rd. Wing of Darkness is coming out for PC, Switch, and PS4. And that's a mech game. It looks like a mech game crossed with Ace Combat, and it looks pretty fucking dope. I'm not as excited for this as I was for Astalon, but this still looks pretty cool.
Yeah, some people are into mech shit. I mean, there's not a lot of mech shit these days, so
There's not. But this looks cool as fuck. Look at that shit. Like this looks like a lot of fun. I'll probably wait on reviews for this. So it's not a wish list for me, but it looks cool.
it looks like
Definitely cool.
it looks like Warship Gunner.
A little bit. Ah, this looks cool. That's definitely being it's on my radar. It's not on my wish list, but it's on my radar. So June 4th, we have DC Superhero Girls Teen Power coming out on the Switch. We did talk about this, I think, last year when it got announced. You were kind of excited for it because you said, what did you say? Like games like this don't get made anymore.
Yeah, I like seeing games that just are reminiscent of the old days. You know,
Before 4 times.
yeah, in the long, long ago. And that definitely looked like a game that was like very like GameCube, PS2 era of just like, yeah, we don't really make games like this anymore, so let's just do that.
Yeah, that's coming
So
out June 4th. Oh, excuse me, for Switch. We also got Evergate coming out on PS5, which we I think we talked about this a little bit. It looks kind of like Ori, a lot like Ori. It's
did we
got this
talk
like
about
memory
oh yeah, we
mechanic.
did talk about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like forever ago.
Yeah, it's
I think
very
it was coming
Ori.
to the Switch. Yeah,
It's like the broke man's Ori. But it's not a bad thing because Ori's very
it's not a
good.
bad thing.
So,
Yeah, they're gonna
but
copy something good.
yeah, budget Ori. It's $9, $10.
And it's coming out on PS5. I don't know how much it's gonna be on there, but if you bought a PS5 and you realize, oh, there's nothing to play on this.
and
There's
you
Evergate.
and you don't have Ori because it's a PS5.
Yeah, get this.
Yeah,
Griftlands is also coming out on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One June 4th. So about 3 days after its PC release, you can see it launch on all major consoles. Outside of the current generation. We also got the Persistence Enhanced Edition coming out for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. What is the Persistence? I've never heard of
let's
this.
see. It's a horror FPS survival horror
That is the
sci-fi
most
stealth.
generic horror game ever. Why is it that all these generic horror games have the something? I'm looking at the Enhanced Edition trailer. We're supposed to be enhanced for PS5. I'll put that in the stream chat right now. Here is the Enhanced
um,
Edition trailer to justify the $900 you pay that scalper for a PlayStation 5.
it's a bright horror game.
Yeah, it is.
Very
Um,
well lit horror game.
the PS5 edition supports some pretty cool features. Ray tracing, haptic feedback. It looks kind of like System Shock, but like shittier.
Uh, yeah.
I mean, I don't like being negative for games. I'm sure this game is good. I'm sure if it's good enough to get a re-release, there's someone out there buying it and playing it.
It's got
Um,
VR on a PC.
there you go. We also got a Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. I didn't even know this was coming out. I didn't know a new Sniper Ghost Warrior game was even coming.
I didn't know people were still interested in these, but
Do these have anything to do with the other Sniper games?
Sniper Elite.
Yes, this is something to do with Sniper Elite.
I think so. I think it's like a spin-off, I think.
So
Maybe. I
Sniper
don't know.
Elite's like the World War II one is like the main one. There's like a spinoff. And then you have another spinoff with like the Nazi zombies.
Yeah. Um, yeah, this looks like a video game.
Definitely a video game, yes.
Yeah.
As an expert, I can tell.
Play as Raven, contract sniper assassin. as you take out a
Easiest
series of
game
targets.
ever. Is there a girl in there named Valkyrie? What about a guy named Just Skull? You think I'm kidding, but that's you heard me say that and you're like, oh, that's a thing, and that's why you laughed.
Yeah. I don't know whatever happened to Ding Chavez.
Yeah, I guarantee you, there's a girl in there named Valkyrie, and a guy named something like Skull or Pain, something fucking edgy and dumb.
I like how their faces just melt. Also, like this looks like you know those arcade games where you get like the sniper scope, super
Yep, I
scope.
know exactly what you're talking about. Yep,
This almost looks like that. Like, do you walk around in this game or
you do. I
you
think.
do? I mean, you get
I think.
shotguns and pistols and shit. You would have to.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like Metal Gear Solid 5. At least the older, I think the last one was like open world, kind of like Metal Gear Solid. So you can
Yeah.
like go around the area, scope it out,
You know
and then
what?
find your target.
Not gonna lie, this game actually looks interesting. Now you bring up that Metal Gear thing, and I'm like, I see this, I see that, and I'm interested now. Uh, this
I
doesn't
heard
like,
the first one. I heard the first Ghost Warrior was like okay, but it was like I heard it was a high 7 out of 10.
I'm gonna wish list this.
Yeah, play the first one. How much is the first one? It can't be like more than $20.
Well, I don't know if but this one's coming out.
Well, the first one's the same way.
Yeah, but this is gonna be better though. You would assume.
You would
I don't know. I'm
assume.
seeing stuff. Some of the stuff I'm seeing here, I'm liking.
Oh, check
I'm
it out,
liking
man!
what I'm
If you
seeing
check it out
here.
and you like it, this might be the hidden gem of 2021.
I'm seeing some what I would like to call emergent gameplay happening uh in this video, and I'm all for it.
Like all jokes aside, if you want to like play as a sniper, like this is what this game like focuses on. It focuses on like, hey, here's your job, go here and do it, and it's like
Yeah.
kind of open. You get there, you scout the area out, you use tools to like learn your targets like pattern, and then take them out. So actually, like Hitman, very similar to Hitman, I think, but more focused on sniping. Yeah, now that I'm saying it, I'm like selling myself on this game. I was fucking shitting on it earlier.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. It's coming out June 4th, so I'll definitely be watching reviews on that. We'll see if it's actually good. And that is it for the show, man. That is everything.
Yeah. Good
I
stuff.
hope
Yeah,
everybody had
yeah,
a good
it's
time.
you know, I like this pre E3 season. It's
Yep.
you know, we kind of we were missing it last year.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm surprised we got it this year, but it's exciting seeing all this stuff just kind of just slow roast and build up and just and bubble. And I mean, weeks prior to E3, all this news is coming out, and it's exciting still. So um yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna keep playing Biomutant. I think the game's bad, but I don't know. There's just something about it that is attractive to me. So um, I'm gonna keep playing that. So look out for that in the stream.
Yep.
We might take
Tell
a
the people where they can find us.
Gameoverse.com, Gameoverse.com/Twitch, Gameoverse.com/YouTube, Gameoverse.com/Discord. We did a quick look of The Wild at Heart. That's up on the site. That's up on the YouTube. You can check that out. Charming little game, I think. We might take a look at Solasta. Might take a look at that. Might take a look at some other stuff. I definitely want to take a look at Biomutant and just really do a dive in on that.
Yeah, do it.
'Cause that game is bad. But yeah, that's gonna do it here, man.
Yeah, this was a good show. I love being here. Can't wait till next week. Everyone have a good one. Stay safe and wear your masks. Or get vaccinated. Or do both. You know, it doesn't hurt.
Do both.